I'll yield to none!
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
What did they do to me?
Let's get our bearings.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
I don't even remember them strapping me down. Not a very chatty fellow, are you?
Oh my, these smelling salts are strong stuff.
Oh, I don't even remember them strapping me down. Oh, I don't even remember them strapping me down.
Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself.
I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Not too tight, I hope. The cop...
No lesions, no trauma. It was black magic. No lesions, no... No known associates. In fact, he seems quite aware of spending time with the others. Yes, this is a magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away. seems as though there's a pattern to the blood flow. That can't be natural.
Oh, I don't even remember them strapping me down.
No marks, no indications of a struggle. Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here?
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
Quite the mess they made.
No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite avert. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is different. Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here?
no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
So, anything interesting for me? I'll take that as an... So, anything... Right. Ticked. No marks. No indications of a struggle.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Sing us a song, I know you can. A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that...
Deciding fates.
She eyes you suspiciously.
Not the future, no, but I can read the past in flesh. Just like you. And I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient, like...
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. You may have to bite a bit deeper, though. Not every elf is as skilled in the art as I am. But anyway, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
She smiles, content.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
The first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're the cattle to them.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right. Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
You get saucy with me. You don't know the first thing about sauce.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Dick.
He reaches out and examines your face. He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar. It is pleasurable to meet you. Hardly. I've been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your god. This text tells me that Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not? Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench. He raises an eyebrow as you approach.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
His eyes snap open. He looks at you.
Murder?
You got this.
Ah, that's what they were going on and on about. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows who done it.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide my accomplishments.
He opens both eyes and turns his head toward you, looking you up and down. He smiles and...
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well,
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mum. But there's more.
Don't you get...
Listen close.
Really don't know the first thing about sauce.
There now, just like that.
Kid, you been down by the room up the hall?
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
there's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do
Captain,
away.
actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
When you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
Please, please, please! A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mezd. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up? Mad? Insufferable? Sure.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
You are Jill, aren't you? I ain't saying nothing. Bloody dwarves. I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with you faring okay so far? Glad to hear it. You head on in now.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow...
So you admit it, then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
By all means, do as the officer says, but you had better...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. telling?
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happening?
No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
Curdled my blood when she appeared. Ship shook like a typhoon had struck and then she was gone again. Look around. You see how that story ends? Nothing but sauce can do. Go on then. Find a place to hide and stay there.
Bishop Alexander, if Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order?
And you thought Rivellon was flat? And you thought Rivellon was flat?
Gods damn it! Need to get off this wreck, and quick. The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge.
hear that, kid? We need to...
But what about the ladder? It's right over there. You can go straight down.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Did you see them? The Voidwoken. They made short bloody work of our ship.
No telling if there are more ashore. And I doubt that voice will save any of us again.